And now we have something very special. We have Mr. Jeremy Bully Elliott, one of the best bass players that I've ever seen, and that I personally know. He is a member of the Chris Jones Band out of the Pacific Northwest, and loads of other bands. So let's get Bully up on the air.
What's up, Bully? You there, bro?
Yeah.
Awesome.
How you guys doing?
Doing good, man. Are you in Tacoma?
Yeah, I'm up here in Tacoma.
Yeah, last time we saw Bully was I think 3 years ago. I had a birthday gathering up in Portland, and about 25 of my friends showed up at a cool Indian buffet for dinner, and Bully and his girl showed up, man. So thanks for coming out to that, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was really fun.
That was cool.
We went out afterwards and saw a band, too. That was pretty cool.
That band was awesome. I forgot what they were called now. It was like Ice Princess or Ice Goddess or something.
That's right.
Yeah, they were kind of like Black Sabbath sounding, but then all of a sudden the girl whips out a sword and starts swinging it around. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That was so good.
Yeah, it was like Viking rock. I don't know. This is cool.
I actually tried to book that band a couple times, but they just for some reason couldn't do it. I really wanted to bring them to Southern Oregon.
Yeah, too bad.
Hey, man, so you're currently playing bass for the Chris Jones Band, right?
Yeah, it's really a great band. Chris is a really good singer, good songwriter. A guy named Charlie Judd is the drummer. And we put out a little EP a couple years ago, American Radio, had 5 songs. And last November, we released a single. It's called I Still Do. And all that stuff, you can get it on Apple, Amazon, all the usuals, Spotify, Pandora.
And how long you been with the band? How long?
I met Chris in 2013 after I moved back here from Illinois. And I just met him off Craigslist, actually, looking for a singer. And we hit it off right away and started jamming together. And the rest is history.
Nice.
Awesome.
So many people I know, including myself, have met a lot of musicians through Craigslist. So that's a pretty cool forum, man. It really is.
Well, especially when you're relocating across the country. It's, you don't know anybody, or if you do, it's just a few people, and it's a good way for, musicians to kind of hook up. So that's cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he had just relocated from North Carolina, I think, South Carolina, something like that.
How often do you guys play out?
We play probably twice a month. I'm playing another band. It's called X35. We only play about 3 times a year, but the Chris Jones Band, try to play as much as we can, but probably about twice a month, I would say.
That's cool. That's not enough to get yourself burned out, so I'm sure every time you do it, it's always a lot of fun, man.
Oh, yeah, we have a great time. And it's just a 3-piece, so it's pretty fun,
Yeah, I was noticing.
Opens up a lot of room for, spontaneous jams and stuff like that.
It's funny, I was looking at your American Radio EP on the CD, which has been out for a couple of years or whatever, and I was just joking around last night with Tracy. I said, look at the picture of the band on the back cover. They all look like a bunch of guys that just escaped from prison, and they're like heading out over the fence. Y'all look like you're all mad.
Right? Oh, I remember that photo session. Actually, the sun was in my eyes, and I was the only one who didn't have sunglasses.
That's right.
So
I actually commented on
scowl. That. Yeah, I have a scowl kind of on my face. Yeah, everybody's like, "Oh, you look like a badass."
I said, "Bully looks really angry."
I was like, these guys just jumped over the fence and they're heading out of prison.
That's funny.
I'm like, if I were walking down an alley and these guys were coming the other way, I think I would probably turn around.
Right?
Is it a band or a gang? That's funny, bro. How long have you been playing bass now in your life?
Oh, man. Since probably about, I would say, I was about 11 or so. I actually started on acoustic, but then my friend was really good on the guitar. His name was James Picton. He was taking guitar lessons. So he was already doing Eddie Van Halen stuff at 13. So I was just like, yeah, I think I'll play the bass. So I switched over to the bass. But you know what? I've always had a job, and everybody's always looking for a good bass player. So
that was my second question. So you answered it for me.
Well, and in all honesty, Bully, and you know that we've both music is our thing, so we've seen a lot of bands over the years, and kind of with Timmy Fires, I always tell people that one of my favorite bass players in the world is a guy by the name of Bully.
Right on.
Jeremy
Thank
Elliott.
you very much.
You are in every band you've ever been in. I've always admired your bass playing. You're one of the best bass players, and you always make up one of the best rhythm sections around. And anybody would be lucky to have you in their band.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
And
Yeah, Timmy's a great guy. We probably played more shows with that guy than anybody else, I would say.
For those of you who don't know who Timmy Fires we interviewed just a few weeks ago, who is just an excellent drummer.
or a few months ago.
Yeah, an excellent drummer. And Bully and Tim played together.
Yeah, you guys have quite the history. So let's go back to your history. I know that when I first met you or heard of you, you were playing in a pretty popular band from Central Illinois at the time called Raw Honey. Was that your first band, or did you have a history before Raw Honey?
I had a band when I lived in Canada when I first started, but we were really young. We played a couple of talent shows and stuff, and then I moved to Illinois and I met Jeff Schmidgall. We started jamming, and the first band was actually called Second Generation. Had Guy Mazzarelli and Jeff Schmidgall and me, and that was kind of the early parts of Raw Honey. But yeah, Raw Honey was probably the first real serious band, and I was in that band for about 10 years or so, and then in the VAYNES, and then I moved out here and met a guy named Frank Parker. We started X35 around 2001, and I've been playing with those guys off and on since then, and I went back to Illinois, played with the Shake for 3 years, and then I came back out here and joined up with Chris. So been playing with Chris Jones' band ever since then.
I know in your lifetime you've also opened up for quite a few bigger bands. Can you, off the top of your head, tell us some of the bigger name bands you've had the privilege of either playing with or opening with or opening for or whatever?
Yeah. Probably the most memorable was Ronnie James Dio.
Oh, I'm jealous.
And, yeah, that was so great to play with him. We played with Tesla, a really good band called Cry of Love. Played with Pat Travers, Jason Bonham, Black Oak, Arkansas, quite a few other bands too.
I remember when we, in our band, the VAYNES opened for Nazareth.
Yeah, Nazareth. Enough's Enough too, maybe?
Yep, and we did open up for Enough's Enough, yep.
Yeah, that was fun, yeah. I remember we were hanging out with them after the show. We walked across the street and Motley Crue was playing. And we all kind of snuck in with Enough's Enough. It was kind of cool.
That's hilarious, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, of course, I'm going to ask you some stuff about the VAYNES. Bully and I were in a band. First of all, does your current band, do they call you Bully or do they call you Jeremy?
Ever since I cut my hair, no one's really called me Bully too much. It was more of when I lived in Illinois, the Woolly Bully thing.
That is so crazy because I was just saying today that I remember I hadn't seen you for quite some time, and I walked into a bar. I believe it was the old whatever. I don't know. It was a bar down in the north end. I believe the Megasonics were playing, and I hadn't seen you for quite some time. And I looked over at you, and you looked at me, and I'm like, I know that guy from somewhere. And,
oh yeah, I remember that.
And then I'm like,
geez.
Oh my God, it's Bully without his hair. And for those of you who don't know, Bully had probably the longest, fullest head of the most beautiful hair that you've ever seen. So I got to say, I was kind of taken aback by seeing him with short hair. But you'll always be Bully to us. So
Right on. Yeah. Yeah, that nickname will probably stick with me forever for sure.
So I have to ask, what prompted you to cut that hair?
Oh man, I don't know. I just felt like it was time,
A change?
Midlife crisis, I guess.
Right?
Yeah, it's been over 10 years now, and I miss it whenever I play. You know what I mean? I miss thrashing my hair around and all that, and certain times I miss it, but other times that I don't.
Well, a lot of Native American tribes consider a lot of their power or whatever to be held in their hair. And then so do a lot of other cultures, dreadlocks and cutting them off. When you got your hair cut, I know this has nothing to do with music, but when you cut all that hair off, because we're talking, you had a lot of hair and it was long. Did you feel like a weight lifted besides just obviously the 10 pounds of hair, but did you feel kind of like you had
I felt different for a long time.
I bet
it took me a while to adjust, just walking by the mirror and who is that? Look at myself. I remember I would always when I put my guitar on, I'd always have to pull my hair through my guitar strap. So the first few times I put my guitar on, I went to pull my hair.
Yeah,
and it wasn't there. I was like, oh no. So it's different for sure.
What kind of bass guitar do you play?
Right now I'm playing a ESP. It's a Les Paul style, and I play a 5-string Music Band Stingray.
Nice.
Also.
For those that don't know, Bully and I were in a band called Bloody and the Veins for I think about 5 years.
I was only in for 2 years.
Okay, because
you guys were together a little bit before.
Well, the fun part of the band was when you were in the band, because before that, the Veins were a cover band for like a year, and then we had a couple people in the band that were kind of unstable. But then when Bully joined and Dave Glover, we took that band changed and became one of the better bands I've ever been a part of. That's for sure. And
me too, for sure.
Well, we get to record an album, which in my 37-year music career still stands up as probably, if not the best, the second best, if not the first of albums I've recorded out of my 9 full-length albums I've recorded. And I wonder what you think about that album when you think about it.
Oh, yeah. I still love listening to it. My son actually came to me one day and was like, I didn't know you played in a band like that. And he was like really surprised I played in a kind of heavier band, and he really liked it. And now I have it on my Amazon Music where it just pops up randomly. It's
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm just working and all of a sudden, one of our songs starts rocking. I'm like, okay, I like this.
Those were some fun times, some very memorable gigs, I will say that.
Yeah, for the 2 years we were together, we probably did more than any other band I've been in, and played everywhere, and had a lot of good times.
Yeah, we did Missouri, and we did Detroit, and we did Wisconsin. We did a ton of states in the Midwest.
Yeah.
And
Cleveland, we went to
that's right.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame out there. And
forgot about Cleveland. But without breaking any of the FCC regulations, do you have any crazy memories from the Veins that pop right up when you think about like the craziest story or two that you could share, or no?
We have a lot of fun road trips. Probably the one thing that sticks in my head was when we went to Cleveland, it was the first time that Tim Fires had ever flown in an airplane.
Oh, yeah.
And the turbulence was really bad. And I just remember looking back at Tim, and he was just green and just looked like he was going to die. And we were all just laughing and screaming, going, you're going to die.
We were so vicious.
Yeah, we were just messing with him. That was one of the funnest times for sure.
Well, and if you know Tim, it makes it even funnier because he is kind of he looks like a burly kind of guy that wouldn't really be afraid of anything.
I'm remembering his face right now. It was so funny. Not to be mean, but I mean, he lived obviously. So, but oh my God, was it funny?
And I'm sure he holds animosity to this day towards all you guys for making fun of his fear.
Oh, that was like the scariest flight I've ever been on. I think they were de-icing the wings right before we took off or something.
And we had to we were getting ready to take off, and they had to stop the plane and re-de-ice, and we were like, wait a minute, what's going on, man?
Yeah.
The only reason we were all laughing is because we didn't want to cry. We were all scared. Timmy was about ready to die, though. You're like, oh my God.
Yeah, that was funny.
So what's coming up for the Chris Jones Band in the near future? Do you have any?
Yeah, we got a gig February 29th. It's up in Urian. It's kind of South Seattle. It's at a place called Elmer's. And we have, April 4th, we have a gig at Fuel. We're actually chartering a bus with like 40 of our fans. And we're all going to ride up to Seattle to a gig and come back home.
Well, that'll be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Ording Rock Festival is July 18th. We're either the headliner or the second to last band, something like that. I don't think it's worked out yet, but that's going to be fun too. Then we have a big gig on July 4th at Pioneer Park in Puyallup. So, yeah, we got some good stuff coming up. We're working on some new music, trying to put out another CD.
Good deal. Good. Yeah, and wintertime is always kind of a good time to write and to, it's not the best time of the year. Summertime, springtime, warm weather, you get the outdoor gigs and stuff like that.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's when I do my writings in the winter for sure.
Yeah.
You guys make it over to Portland much, or like Central Oregon or anything like that?
Not yet. We're planning a tour this spring though, and we're gonna make it down there. So I'll definitely get a hold of you. Maybe we can do a show together on the way through.
Yeah, I've been promoting music on and off for decades. So if you want to do a show down here, I'd be glad to promote it for you. Maybe
Sure,
our band could open up for you or something.
Right.
Yeah, we'd be glad to do that, bro. Yeah, if you guys want to come down here, let me know. I'll be happy to promote your show.
Killer.
Yeah, we've had bands from Peoria come through in different states, and we've had good gigs. So yeah, that'd be pretty easy, man. We are gonna play a song. I noticed that you wrote a couple of the tracks on the Chris Jones American Radio EP, tracks 4 and 5, American Radio, and Wrong Side of the Tracks. What is American Radio about? I assume it's just your love for American radio,
or hate for American radio.
I grew up in a small town in Canada, and we just had kind of lame radio stations. So the only really good rock station was from Spokane, Washington, which is only about 3 hours to the south. So I don't know, somewhere along the lines, my friend told me, if you hook up your cable to your radio, you can pick up this Rock 106 station from Spokane. And it played all the, Ozzy and AC/DC and all the stuff that was out, Quiet Riot and everything. So, I used to listen to that. Partly comes from that. And then if you listen to the words, it's about my parents and just, growing up in Canada. Talks about my dad driving the truck with his knee while he's rolling a joint and, stuff like that.
And I saw on social media that your dad's still out rocking and checking your band out and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm fortunate enough to have both my parents still, and I spend a lot of time with my dad. And I need to get back to Illinois to see my mom, but yeah, it's nice. My dad's still kicking and doing good.
That's really.
He lives up in Powell River, British Columbia. It's really beautiful up there, so I try to make it up there whenever I can.
How far is that from Tacoma?
Man, it takes about 10 hours because you have to take multiple ferries, and I don't know, it's a long ride, but it's right on the coast, kind of off Vancouver Island, right there.
Beautiful. Well, brother,
yeah, it's really nice.
I tell you, man, it's been really cool talking to you, man. We usually do about 20-minute chats, and we're kind of at our limit. We do appreciate it. Don't you guys also have a music video, too, or more than one?
Yeah, we did. We have a music video for The Wrong Side of the Tracks. And, yeah, we're going to be working on another one. We have a new song called Driver coming out, and we're going to put a video up for that pretty soon, too.
And you also have a Facebook page as well, right?
Yeah. Chris Jones Band Facebook page. We also have a YouTube channel. If anybody could get on there and like it, man, it's hard to get people to like.
It sure is. It is.
Everybody likes your post, but they actually have to get on your page and like that, or actually sign into YouTube. But yeah, if anybody could do stuff like that, it'd be appreciated. Helps us out a lot.
The Chris Jones Band. That's the name of the band. You're listening to an interview with Jeremy Bully Elliott. And Tracy, anything you'd like to say before we let Billy go?
Just so much thanks for, calling in and doing the interview. We've been wanting to do this for a while, and just good luck, with the Chris Jones Band. And I hope that you guys do indeed get down this way when you tour, because we would just absolutely love to see you and to check out the Chris Jones Band live. So thanks so much, Bully.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it. And I'll be in touch.
For sure, my brother. Love you and rock on. And I hope that we can hook up again soon and perform together.
All right, brother. Love you guys too.
Yep. Bye. Take care, Bully. There we go. Legendary Bully Jeremy Elliott from the Chris Jones Band, Bloody in the Veins, Raw Honey.